Have you been stressed and anxious, and you possibly heard about the incredible benefits of meditation as related to stress and anxiety, but then you tried it and it didn't work for you? Have you said things like, I can't clear my mind, I can't sit still, I don't have time? Or you possibly noticed that meditation is trendy, it's like everywhere now, and you've heard people swear by it, but you didn't know where to start? In this episode, I'm going to troubleshoot some of the most common issues people have with meditation, and I'm going to give you actionable tips on starting and maintaining a practice. So if you're ready to change your life, like I radically did mine with meditation, keep watching. So for me personally, meditation changed my life. I started meditating regularly, maybe about a year ago, because my anxiety and stress levels were honestly becoming unmanageable. I would go off on people, I was stressed at work, which really makes me laugh right now. By the way, looking back at it, it's like seeing the life of a whole different person. I had stomach issues that were affecting the quality of my life and my sleep, and it really got to the point where I realized I had to do something about it, because I could see how being in a constant stress of anxiety could have serious health repercussions in the long run. So I started meditating by using different meditations on YouTube. That was my first step. And by 2 months in, I started seeing an incredible change in every single aspect of my life. My stress started to go. My anxiety was alleviated. I started observing my own reactions to external circumstances, and my stomach issues started becoming better and better. So research has identified a powerful connection between the gut and the brain, right? Like the brain, the gut is full of nerves. It, in fact, contains the largest area of nerves outside the brain, and a hefty amount of the nerve connections in the digestive tract and in the brain, they're exactly the same. So no wonder the gut is called the second brain. So by getting rid of anxiety, the impact on my gut issues and on all my stomach issues was tremendous. So meditation reduces the density of brain tissue associated with anxiety and worrying, and increases the volume in areas related to emotional regulation and positive emotions. It also increases neuroplasticity, which is the ability to change certain functions of your brain for the better, like worrying, for example. It also increases immune function, and it decreases inflammation on the cellular level. So overall, it makes you a happier and healthier individual. So why do people have trouble starting and maintaining a regular meditation practice? Various reasons. Some of them go pretty deep. I won't go into them here because some people don't like to hear some truths. Maybe I'll address them in another video. But mostly, which was the case for myself, is that I was resistant to it because I had this fixed idea what it was supposed to be like. I was basically judging my own experience. So rule number 1, they'll tell you this right off the bat when you start any type of meditation course. You have to drop all expectations. Why? Well, first of all, the experience is different for everyone. And secondly, people think that the first time they sit down, they're going to stop the chatter of the mind. Obviously, that's not going to happen on the first day, the first week, or even the first year, to be honest. What you're going to sit down and do when you start meditating is your mind is going to start throwing tantrums. If you've never observed your thoughts before, this might even feel overwhelming. What you need to do during this phase is just sit through it. What will happen is you're just going to observe your wound up mind as it's unwinding tons of thoughts and possibly also feelings and emotions. So just observe at this point. When you become the observer, when you can separate yourself from your thoughts, that's step number 1. That's a very important step. It's going to start making sense once you stick with us for a time. Gradually, you're going to start perceiving without doubt that you're not actually your thoughts. You're not that chatter. Just observe for now and let your thoughts go. You can imagine them like white clouds coming in, and then you let them float away. You're not supposed to be sitting there thought-free. That's a misconception, and most people actually give up early in the practice because of this. So once you accept this and decide that you're going to sit through this initial discomfort of a racing mind and just observe, the next piece of advice that I would give you is to start short. You will hear from various sources start with 20 minutes, but if you're completely new to this, to be honest, that's way too long. You won't be able to sit through 20 minutes, and you'll eventually get disappointed and give up. So start with 2 minutes for the first few days, right? You can sit through 2 minutes. 2 minutes, just focus on your breath or do a very, very short body scan. You can do it. So once you find that you can actually feel something positive from this, from the 2 minutes, then go for 5 minutes or 10, but really do not go over that for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say. It's going to be different for everyone, so really play it by ear at this point. Number 2, the second bit of advice that I would give you is don't get hung up on position. Obviously, if you get deeper into meditation and if you start pursuing the more spiritual aspects of it, like I'm doing at this point, you're going to want to sit cross-legged, like you see me now, right? With your spine erect. The reason for this is that there is this energy called the Kundalini energy that is collected at the base of the spine. And that's what you're going to want to let move up the spine and into your higher chakras in a spiral movement like this. So chakras are energy centers located in the spine. And when the Kundalini starts from the base of the spine and goes up from the lower chakras into the higher chakras, it connects you to the divine. As you move up the chakras from lowest to highest, you get into higher and higher states of consciousness. You start getting into higher levels of perception and understanding and all of that. So if you're choosing to sit cross-legged, sit with your hips slightly elevated on a meditation cushion like I'm doing now. You can get any cushion that raises your hips about 3 inches off the ground. However, if you cannot sit cross-legged, don't let that stop you. Honestly, sit in a chair, lie down as long as you're comfortable. With lying down, there's the danger of you falling asleep, but if you keep it short at this point, then you'll be okay. You can sit in half lotus like you see me doing now with one leg like this, facing up. You can sit in full lotus if you have that position, or just simple cross-legged is fine. Number 3, I highly recommend you find a quiet space where you will not be distracted or disturbed. Keep your phone on silent, keep it in another room if you don't need it to listen to the meditation. Make this place your special place. Creating a ritual around this place is very conducive to finding it a comforting space, a safe space for you where you can get still and get quiet. You can keep some favorite objects here, like maybe a crystal if you're into that, or even if you're not, buying a crystal to keep you in meditation. You will keep it with you. It will help you ground your energy. Crystal shops are everywhere now. Get the simplest one, like a quartz, for example. Of course, in the type of meditation that I do, which is Vipassana, which is the meditation that I trained for, you're not allowed to use any type of prop, but if you're just starting, I feel that you'll find this very beneficial in helping ground your energy and contain it in the energetic space that you have for this practice at this point. Number 4, if you cannot sit still initially, that's okay. It's just a reaction from your mind. Fidget if you have to. This aspect is going to start getting better for you gradually. The important thing is to be able to sit through the initial goals that you set. 2 minutes at first, 5 minutes, and so on. Number 5, if you start getting anxious, know that this is normal as well. All the junk is coming up. Your subconscious mind is starting to feel threatened. When it opens up, it doesn't know what to do. It does not want to give up its damaging patterns because they're all it knows. So it clings to those patterns. So what I recommend is stick with it. Observe your anxiety without judging it. Maintain equanimity. You don't feel negative or positive towards it. Be like, oh, I see I'm anxious now. Let me sit with this feeling and see what it wants. This is going to start clearing out some major gunk for you. Number 6, I'm not even going to address the excuse, I don't have time. If you have time to watch this video on meditation, and if you have time to go on YouTube, you have time to meditate. Believe me, my life is pretty fucking busy as well. I have a full-time job, I have a kid, I also do YouTube, yet I always find time to meditate. I do 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. I wake up at 5 o'clock and I just do it, because without it, honestly, I start getting anxious and stressed, and it's just not good. So I'm sure you can find at least 10 minutes. There's a Zen quote saying, you should sit in meditation for 20 minutes every day. Unless you're too busy, then you should sit for an hour. And that's very, very true. So number 7, and my final advice, don't get discouraged if a particular type of meditation doesn't work for you. You can definitely look for the shoe that fits, as there's a whole menu out there. There's yoga nidra, there's transcendental, there's vipassana, there's mantra meditation, body scan, loving kindness meditation, and so on and so forth. You can try them all until you find the one that's right for you. And if you stick with it, you'll see how your tastes might change as you go deeper into it, and then you might jump into another type. You'll just see what looks good for you. One last thing that I need to stress here is probably the most important, and this is continuity of practice. Be consistent. Do it every single day. Don't stress if you happen to skip a day, but try and do at least 5 minutes of conscious breathing each and every day. My personal experience has been that I started meditating in order to get rid of anxiety and stress, which I did. And then after I did a 10-day Vipassana silent meditation course where we basically meditated for 11 hours a day for 10 days. And we also had to observe noble silence throughout the day, even outside of meditation practice. I started perceiving the more spiritual aspects of it. It brought me insights into some higher states of perception and what we call super consciousness. So that's really cool. If you concentrate on that as well, it might give you that little incentive that you're looking for. And then there's the next level, which are master meditators who achieve a constant and deep perception of the infinite and remain in communion with the divine the whole time. There's a favorite quote of mine in the Hindu scriptures that says, "In shallow men, the fish of little thoughts cause much commotion. In oceanic minds, the whales of inspiration make hardly a ruffle." I'm sending you love. May you be happy, peaceful, liberated.